Good morning, everybody. You know, if you do nothing but follow the legacy media, especially concerning COVID, all you're going to read about is doom and gloom, hypocrisy, and misdirection. You're not going to read a lot about hope. Well, let's start with doom and gloom from my local newspaper, the Honolulu Star Advertiser. Hawaii reports 3 additional coronavirus related deaths on Oahu and 92 new infections statewide. Well, since this newspaper wanted to highlight these 3 deaths first, let's concentrate on that part of their story. The 3 people whose coronavirus related deaths were announced earlier today all had underlying conditions. Isn't this what they used to call comorbidity issues? And had been hospitalized, State Department of Health officials announced today. They included 2 men, one in his 70s and the other in his 60s, and a woman in her 70s. So, all these people who had comorbidity issues, and they don't even say what they are, actually, coronavirus might have had very little to do with it. These underlying conditions, these comorbidity issues, could have what really caused their deaths. This newspaper doesn't go on to say. We have no way of telling what part the underlying conditions caused and what part coronavirus caused. From ABC News, Denver mayor offers apology for Thanksgiving travel after urging residents to stay at home. Oh, yes. If you haven't seen this story, you missed a good one. Let's go on with this. The mayor of Denver apologized for traveling on Wednesday after having urged residents to stay at home for Thanksgiving as COVID-19 cases surge. Well, he wasn't too concerned about getting COVID-19. He was more interested in eating that beautiful Thanksgiving dinner with his family and friends. On Wednesday, Mayor Michael B. Hancock headed to Mississippi to join his wife and daughter there, he said. Earlier that day, the mayor told Denver ABC affiliate that during the holiday, if you can, remain in your household. If you can, stay with those in your household. If you choose to travel, he said, do what we've always been asking throughout the entire experience. Wear a mask, social distance, and wash your hands. And there's the good cook himself. And let's take a look at the tweet he gave. Pass the potatoes, not the COVID. I'm sure he was doing a lot of passing the potatoes in Mississippi while not staying in Denver like he told all the residents to do. Typical of politicians in general. Do what I say, not what I do. Let's go on to another legacy media outlet because I've only raised 2 of the issues. You know what the last one is. It's misdirection. Take a look at this report from CNN. Supreme Court's scientifically illiterate decision will cost lives. Lives, I tell you. Wow. Good thing, though, that the Supreme Court isn't responsible for science, is it? They're not there to tell you whether global warming is gonna raise the ocean 2 or 3 feet and drown out your city, or if there's going to be a global freeze, and you're going to freeze your nads off during the next winter. The only thing the Supreme Court is there to do is to rule on the Constitution. It was ruling on if whether what Governor Cuomo did was within the Constitution or not, and it ruled against him. But CNN isn't concerned about the law. Oh, no. Screw the Constitution. Let's see, though, what the good jurors have to say for themselves. Here's what the majority opinion said. In a red zone, while a synagogue or church may not admit more than 10 persons, businesses categorized as essential may admit as many people as they wish. And the list of essential businesses includes things such as acupuncture facilities, campgrounds, garages, as well as many whose services are not limited to those that can be regarded as essential. And Justice Neil Gorsuch had a follow-on opinion. So, at least according to the governor, it may be unsafe to go to the church, but it is always fine to pick up another bottle of wine, shop for a new bike, or spend the afternoon exploring your distal points and meridians. Let's go on with what Justice Kavanaugh says. The state argues that it has not impermissibly discriminated against religion because some secular businesses, such as movie theaters, must remain closed and thus treated less favorable than houses of worship. But under this court precedence, the state argues that it has not impermissibly discriminated against religion because of some secular businesses, such as movie theaters, must remain closed and are thus treated less favorable than houses of worship. But under this court's precedence, it does not suffice for a state to point out that, as compared to houses of worship, some secular businesses are subject to similarly severe or even more severe restrictions. Rather, once a state creates a favored class of businesses, as New York has done in this case, the state must justify why houses of worship are excluded from that favored class. Now, this is what the legacy media is harping on about. You can see the misdirection there. They wanted to go from points of law to points of science. Like I said, the Supreme Court isn't interested in science. They're not supposed to be experts in science. They're experts in one field of law, particularly the Constitution of the United States, which Governor Cuomo clearly doesn't have much respect for. But let's not end this on a down note. Let's go to one last news source. This is from Newsmax.com. Pfizer begins shipping COVID-19 vaccine to U.S. from Belgium. That's right, people. The vaccine is already on its way. Let's go on a little bit with this news story. Pharmaceutical manufacturer Pfizer began shipping doses of its COVID-19 vaccine Friday via chartered cargo flights between Brussels, Belgium, and Chicago to have those stockpiles in position for distribution as soon as it is approved for inoculations by regulators. I'm going to try to get a dose of that vaccine as quickly as I can. As old as I am, I know I have an overwhelming chance to survive the Wuhan flu if I catch it, even without the vaccine, just like President Trump did. But if I can get a vaccine where I don't even have to suffer the illness at all, I will.